Hello, welcome back to another Fast Journal channel. I'm Jacob from Jacob's Book Corner. We're in my book corner, and today we're going to talk about the 25 books I read in the month of March, and I'm really excited to talk about all these things. We have 4 books to go over that I specifically did read that I don't have a copy of. The first one we're going to talk about is The Anti-Relationship Year by Katie Weismer. I read this twice. I read this as a physical book, and also I read this for an ebook, and also as a audiobook. The audiobook is phenomenal. I recommend you check it out. It's really short, really quick to the point, got through it in no time. That's the same way I felt about the book itself. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. If you want to see my non-spoiler and or my spoiler review, I'll link it down below as I did both. And that will include my Goodreads review. And so if you even want to see that, it's all going to be linked down below. Don't you worry. I'm very excited for this book to come out, or for it to be out to you guys. You guys can get it now. At the time of me reading this, you guys couldn't get it, but now you can. So how exciting is that? The next one we're going to talk about is The Coldest Case by James Patterson. I'm pretty sure he had a co-writer here, but either way, I picked this up because of Aaron Paul, Kristen Ritter, and Nanowrimo. Just not even, her voice is so modulated throughout the whole story, you don't even know it's her talking. But it was a Audible original, which I had never listened to until now, and I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Production value wise, it was phenomenal. Actual, like, going through the motions and stuff. The story itself was mindless. The plot was not great. Also, Kristen Ritter had 3 characters she was voicing, and she didn't change her voice for any of them, and so it made it really confusing. She played his sister and his lover, which obviously is fine, especially because that happens in many audiobook forms, but this one was very weird, so I did not like it. The next one I picked up is Sleepless Over You, I think it's what it's called. This is a gay love story, and I think the most prominent thing I took out of this is the fact that it just felt very exploitative. The story itself was very sexual driven, and it was written by a woman. I have no idea if this woman is part of the queer community at all. I didn't do my research into that, so if you guys do know, let me know in the comments down below. But it was just very, like, in your face. Like, these two people just wanted to have, like, lots and lots of graphic sex. The story itself went nowhere. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about the actions of the characters. I didn't care about the plot or anything. At the end, I was like, when is this going to be over? That's kind of how I felt. So that's super great when you're reading a book. And also, this was written in chapter form instead of the other ones. The other 2 that I read for Audible originals were written like plays. And so this was also just a weird experience overall. I didn't really like it. Let me know if you read it and how you guys feel. The last one that I want to talk about is Credence by Penelope Douglas. I read this for Katie Weismer's book club over on her Patreon page, and I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. As further progression, while I have taken some time away from it, I actually think it might be more like a 2.5. The ending is very unsettling, and I just kind of accepted it for what it was. But after hearing a lot of different people's opinions and watching several reviews on it, kind of not really knowing how to feel, I do agree that the toxic behavior in this is just it goes beyond the lines that I think I'm allowed for it to cross, and our hero can't be forgiven, and not her heroine, not the main character, but our hero can't be forgiven. So yeah, basically this story follows our main character Tyrion, I think is what her name is, and her parents die. They commit suicide in the beginning of the book, and she is with distraught, and she has to go move in with her uncle. I think it's her uncle. I think it's her step uncle. I don't actually think they're blood related. It's important, I guess. And his 2 sons. And this whole book is about them getting together. So it's very taboo. It's very, hardcore romance. It's very dark. It's a very dark romance as well. I guess. It is. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. This is my first taste of Penelope Douglas, and I did not love it. It was very addicting, so I did like that nature of it, but I didn't love it. I think the next one I'm picking up is Birthday Girl, which is where people think you should. That one and Punk 89, I think, is the other ones that people recommend that you start with, but I started with this one because of a book club. So alright, everything else we're going to talk about is in the order I read them, so let's get started. The first one we're going to talk about is Little Fires Everywhere. Now, I simply picked this up because thinking it was a thriller. It's not. It's literary fiction for sure. I picked this up thinking for my 5 thriller vlog, which has now been moved to April, so it's not coming out till the end of April. So my actual explicit thoughts won't be talked about until the end of this month. Sorry about that. Little Fires Everywhere follows 2 families, one of affluent background and one of not so affluent background. It was made into a television show, which I've not watched yet, but I'm very excited to watch. There is a mystery element to it, but it's much more like character-driven literary fiction. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed myself in the story and the characters that it was based around. So yeah, I would definitely pick up another listening. So if you have another one that you think I would really enjoy, let me know in the comments. Next one I can pick up is Uncharted. This is the prequel to the actual games, which are some of my favorite video games of all time. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars, if I'm not mistaken. It was very lackluster. It's not necessary. The prologue itself wasn't great. I liked some of the angles here, but nothing directly. I wish there was much more to it. Knowing that this is it, it's a little disheartening. So that's how my opinion felt on this one. Now for Hawkeye, this is actually volume like 6. I read volume 1. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. This follows Hawkeye after he became Rodin in the comics, and he picks up protege Kate Bishop, who is a main character of the Young Avengers, and who will be played by Haley Steinfeld in the Hawkeye television show. This is based on those comics that the TV show is going to be based on, equaling me picking it up. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, if not a 5 out of 5 stars. I can't actually remember. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I will be continuing to pick up the later issues of the series, as I really liked it. Next one we're going to talk about is WandaVision. This is Marvelverse, so it's like 4 different stories, all dedicated to Wanda and Vision, different parts of their romance throughout the MCU. I obviously picked this up because of the fact WandaVision was a TV show going on at the time. I did not like this. I think I gave it a 3. So that was disappointing. Can't even tell you, Spider-Man is a big part of this, which I did not like. Ultron, I think, was also a part of this. I don't remember what the stories were. The artwork was really, really pretty. So we have Avengers Origins Vision, Giant Size Avengers number 4, which is like a team-up one. A Marvel team-up one as well, which all of them are the ones. And they were all moderately okay. Nothing blew me away. I wouldn't be itching to pick this up again. And I also wouldn't be itching to tell people to go pick it up themselves. There's much better WandaVision comic books out there dealing with full-fledged storylines. That would be much more intriguing to read. Then, for that same video that I will obviously be discussing later on this very month, I read The Woman in the Window. Actually, I read 30% of The Woman in the Window by A.J. Flynn, and then felt so bad that I was reading A.J. Flynn book, I DNF'd. This one was simply put down because of the fact of the allegations and the things that A.J. Flynn has said he did, essentially, or what there's too many evidence around him saying that he did. So I DNF'd it. I am going to end up like giving it to like donations and or something or the other. I don't feel comfortable owning it. This was a donation. I got it as a donation. The audiobook that I was listening through was through my library. I didn't spend any money on him, but it just made me feel very uncomfortable. And so I didn't finish it. You know how you guys look at those situations. Then I read The Silent Patient by Alex Mikulaides, which I cannot wait to read his new one. Silent Patient follows a girl or a woman who is convicted of murder of her husband and the therapist who comes in to talk to her. And it has a very big plot twist. I don't think that's a spoiler. I think everybody talks about the plot twist in general when they talk about The Silent Patient. And I saw it coming, so I was really pissed off. And so my initial gut was 2 stars, but the book is so well written, so well done, that I got a 4. So that's where I stand with The Silent Patient. Next one I read for my quarterly TBR video, which will be going up next month as well. And that is Infinity Reaper by Adam Severa. I hated this book. I loathe this book. Hate, I think, is not even the strongest word. The writing here is fine. It's not Adam Severa even at all. He has a character in here, Brighton. And I just despise Brighton with my whole entire body and being. Despise is like, no, I despise Brighton. And there's so many chapters that were written from Brighton's point of view in this very long-ass book that I was like, I can't do this. And so, very many times, I tried to DNF it. I read it in one day, which I felt very accomplished for doing. And I don't know. If you liked the first one, I'm sure you're going to love this one. So, I picked this up hoping it would be better than that one. I didn't really enjoy the first one, which is Back There Infinity Sun. I won't be continuing on, even though it did end with a great cliffhanger. Maybe I will read the third one. I'm still going to read other Adam Severa books. Obviously, this is very different from other books that he's written before. I've liked other Adam Severa books at that. So I'm not calling Adam Severa off or anything like that. I just don't think the series was written for me. Also, like I said, that character is just so annoying. Like, one of the most annoying protagonists I have read from in a very long time. This follows a world where they are born off of phoenixes. That's the word I was looking for. And so there's different factions and stuff, and it's like a superhero thing. The concept's kind of cool. The first book feels like it's a sequel. This one feels like it's even deeper into a series I didn't understand to begin with, but I still liked it. I thought the romance was fine. There's something about, I want to read a book about a queer character being the lead in a huge, like, type of book like this, like a Harry Potter style book. So I wanted that, and I kind of got what I wanted, but I didn't get into any extent that I really did. Next book, I read a few nonfictions. The first one being Be Gay, Do Comics, Queer History, Memoir, and Satire from the Nib. This follows a whole bunch of different things. We have a queer separatist town, the life of a gay Jewish Nazi fighter, a general reveal party that tears reality apart. Like I said, many things ranging from personal stories to queer history to straight satire. I highly recommend you pick this up. This was a 5 out of 5 stars. I didn't love everything here, but there is something here for everybody at that. It was also very emotional, and it hit me in a lot of different weird ways, and so I just recommend it no matter what. I liked it. Then we have The Other Side, Stories of Central American Teen Refugees Who Dream of Crossing the Border by Juan Pablo Villalobos. This was also translated, by the way, translated by Rosalind Harvey. This follows, I think, 11 different stories, all about kids from Mexico trying to make their way over into America, and or kids who live in America talking about their relatives and stuff who live in Mexico or trying to make the journey. And it's about the dreamers and stuff, and I think it's really, really important. I didn't love everything inside this book. I think I don't rate nonfiction, so maybe I didn't even rate that. That would have been a 5 stars. I don't rate nonfiction, so I wouldn't even rate this. I really liked it. It was short. It was a little bit hard to read in some cases because some of the stuff is really dark, obviously, as it does contain the real-life personal stories. But I do recommend it if you're curious. I picked it up because I wanted to know more information about things that are going on at the border. And it's just so horrible, and it's disgusting. And this one just further reality that it was disgusting. Now, what else do you want? Not the people, but the things happening to the people, and why we can't just be a much more forgiving country and let anybody who deserve to be in. Like, not everybody is a horrible, horrible person, and we can't just judge them based off their race. And yet we are, and it's so fucking disgusting, and it pisses me off to no end. But, you know, that's the society we live in, I guess. I want to change it. I'm going to continue to advocate for it. So then I read Persuasion, which has been on screen for a minute, by Jane Austen. I read this actually as an Audible original. This was done in a play-style form, which I think ended up hurting my experience. Florence Pugh read it to me, which I adore, obviously. And once again, like I said, I think it did hurt my experience quite a bit, as I did not like it. I didn't understand the point of Persuasion. It is a second chance romance, and you know that right away if you read the actual physical book. And so in future, I do plan on going back and rereading this in its entire format, as I think I would actually probably enjoy. It is one of my coworkers who I get recommendations from all the time, we have a very similar taste in books, that it's one of her favorites, and so I have a feeling I would really like it. I just need to go back. I'm also not a huge fan of second chance romances. I like second chance romances if it's already like built into the story, but I don't like if we see the first chance and then second chance comes later on in the story. That I don't mind, but I don't like second chance romances where it's like the whole build up. Then I read Fangirl Volume 1 by Rainbow Rowell, and this was adapted by Sam Meggs, illustrated by Gibby Nam. I really miss Fangirl, to be honest with you. That's why I picked this up. I like Carry On. And I need to read Railroad Sons. Maybe I did read it. Like, in certain cases, I feel like I did read it, but in other cases, I don't feel like I did. I would have to go back and look at the books I read last year. And so I was like, oh, we'll pick this up. And I really liked it. It ended on a good cliffhanger. I enjoy the story so much. I think I'll probably pick it up this month, reading the physical book as a reread for the series for my channel. This is fine. It follows 2 sisters who go off to college. One sister is much more attached to the other sister, and she ends up leaving her, and there's a lot of turmoil, and there's a lot of like depression and like other emotions and stuff. This is one of the first books where I read that the book was written about a writer, which I really liked and I really enjoyed. So, and then I read Saga Volume 7, which is obviously Volume 7 of Saga, and this is like really, really adult Star Wars is the best way to describe it. I picked it up because we're getting more Saga in the future, and I just really wanted to read Saga, so yeah. And I can't explain what this book is about except for saying it's like adult Star Wars. So if you were expecting a better analysis than that, you went to the wrong place. Then I read Check Please, book 2, Sticks and Scones by Nagzai Yugaras. I'm sorry for butchering that name. I really, really am very sorry. This is a gay romance set in the world of hockey, starring our character Biddy. As he goes off to college, he meets his lover Jack. Yep. And yeah, that's what this is. This was a 5 stars. I love them both. I highly recommend both. A coworker, but the best is that we don't really get to see queer stories when they're actually together. We just get to see queer stories as they're building their relationship. And so I really liked seeing a queer story where the 2 leads are together, which was nice. And they're not fighting and or bickering. They're just being in a romantic relationship like any other fucking book would be. But because we're queer, gotta have drama. Moving on. We have Wardine Keeps Breaking Up With Me, and by Markio Tamaki, illustrated by Rosemary Vera Okano. This follows a girl. Her girlfriend keeps breaking up with her over and over and over again. I think by the start of the book, they're broken up 3 times. This is about abusive relationships and how abusive relationships expand off into other relationships in our life if we don't get a handle on abusive relationships. I fell in the line of really liking this. I think I gave it a 4. I think probably more polite than it needs to be. To be honest with you, this is more like a 3.5. The writing is very good. I really liked it. I just felt maybe it was a little too juvenile for the subject matter, even if I think it handled the subject matter to be okay. I think the whole point of this book is to bring up the subject matter in conversations with teens, and so I think it excelled in that regard. Next one I picked up Pierce Watson's All the Beautiful Lies. I picked this up for that video that will come out at the end of the month, as I still have one more to read, technically. This follows a cycle of abuse, of course, over the course of several years. The story follows 2 timelines. One timeline where his son comes home and his father is dead. Well, he comes home because his father died. Another timeline where a teenager is living with her abusive mother. She's not really abusive. She's just not a great mother. She is verbally abusive, so I guess it's fine. And I hated it. I'm gonna play it out there. I hated it. This is one of those books that by the time I got done reading it, I didn't understand the point of why I read it. I also didn't understand the point of why it existed. So that's never a good sign. And 2 for 2 for Pierce Swanson for books I didn't like. I'm gonna pick up, there's a few others that I think I'm gonna like more, so I'm gonna pick those up before I call off Pierce Swanson as a thriller writer for me. Then I read The Lucky One by Nicholas Sparks. I'm reading all Nicholas Sparks books to do a whole video talking about all of his different novels and how I rate them and stuff. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. It's always been one of my favorite Nicholas Sparks books. This was a reread for me. I think I read it in 2 days, which was pretty good. This follows a person who goes off to war, and he finds a picture of a photograph of a woman, and he uses it as his guiding light. And this woman ends up saving him over and over again in war, to the point where he goes home and he tracks her down to tell her thank you. There is a romance between those two, but there's also a few other dramatic things, but that's basically the point of the book. I really liked it. I love the movie. This started, my mom and I want to rewatch all the Nicholas Sparks movies, and she's like, you pick the book you want to read, and then we'll read the movie accordingly, and we'll do it weekly. So, The Lucky One is the first one. It stars Zac Efron and Taylor Schilling, and I'm very looking forward to watching tomorrow evening. And then, lastly, I read the behemoth of a novel, The Heartbreaking Tale of 4 Boys in College, and that is A Little Life by Hanya Kagira. And goddamn it, was this amazing. I don't recommend this to a fucking soul, but am I glad I read it. I don't know. On one note, I think it did affect me mentally taxing, because of a character in here. I don't want to spoil anything. It follows 4 boys who meet in college, their freshman year of college, and become best friends, and it follows them throughout their whole entire life. I mean, literally, their whole entire life. You don't miss a beat. It's very long. It's very, very excruciatingly hard to read through, and yeah, I would have probably DNF'd it if I wasn't listening to it as an audiobook. I knew that going in, which is why I picked up the audiobook. The audiobook is 40 hours long, so, it's fine. And this was a 5 out of 5 stars. I think it gave me my favorite character of all time, and, I just don't recommend it, But I'm happy I read it. It was my 50th book of the year, which was exciting. I don't actually know if it was my 50th, because I finished a whole slew of books at once, but, it was definitely, it's the 50th on the website. Alright, that's it, guys. I read 24, 25, however many books that it was. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, April is full of content. It's a whole freaking slew, so I'm very excited to jump into it. It's going to be a very busy month for me, but it's going to be a very rewarding month for you guys, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about all the fun things I have planned. If there's any book you're really looking forward to, or if there's any books you recommend to me to read in the month of April, go ahead and put them down below. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you for watching.